We are looking at question number 10. And question number 10 is a monster question because we are dealing with mixed number. And what does that mean? Take a look. We have 3 and 1/3 minus 2 and 2/5. 3 and 1/3 is a mixed number because we have a whole number 3 and then a proper fraction 1/3. 2 and 2/5 is also a mixed number because we have a whole number and a fraction. So how do we deal with mixed numbers? How do we subtract mixed numbers? Let me make a note first. When you are dealing with mixed numbers, when you are adding, subtracting, or multiplying or dividing, I personally like to change them to improper fractions. Per fractions. And then just do however we need to do later on, alright? So let me copy down the question again. 3 and 1/3 minus 2 and 2/5. How do we change mixed number to an improper fraction? This is the step. Okay? So 3, the denominator stays the same. The denominator 3 stays the same. And then the numerator, to figure out the numerator, what we do is we take this whole number 3, multiply by the denominator 3. So 3 times 3 is 9. And then plus the 1, we get 10. So let me write down the calculation. What I did right here was I do 3 times 3 and then plus 1. So the first 3 is like the whole number 3, and then the second 3 is the denominator, and then you add 1 to the numerator. So 3 times 3 is 9, 9 plus 1 is 10. Okay? Minus the second mixed number. To change that, again the denominator 5 will stay the same. And then what we are going to do is 2 times 5, which is 10, plus the 2, which is 12. So we got this because the whole number 2 times the denominator 5, and then you want to add a 2 to it. So 2 times 5 is 10, 10 plus 2 is 12. And these are called improper fraction because the numerator, the top, is bigger than the denominator, the bottom. Top is bigger than the bottom. Top is bigger than the bottom. Alright, so now we have two fractions. You can just look at this as like improper fractions. And we're going to see how to subtract these two fractions. And the idea is to make sure that they have the same denominator. Unfortunately, we do not. So we want to make that happen. That's the second step. So let's see. We need the lowest common multiple of the denominator. And let's see what that is. So let's take a look of the multiples of 3. And that means you have 3 first, because that's like 3 times 1. Right? Multiples implies that we are multiplying. So 3 times 1 is 3. The next one is 6, because 3 times 2 is 6. The next one is 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. And then you have 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and so on. So just write down a few first. Another one we're going to look at is the multiples of 5. And for that, you start off with 5. The next one is 10, because 5 times 2 is 10. And then 15, because 5 times 3 is 15. And then 5 times 4 is 20. And then 25 and 30 and so on. So we are looking for the least common multiple of the denominator. We are looking for the lowest common multiple of 3 and 5. So take a look. Notice that I saw 15, right? 15 is a multiple of 3, and 15 is also a multiple of 5. So that's what we're looking for. And that's also the least. This is the smallest possible numbers, and they are the same. Smallest possible multiples of 3 and 5. So the least common multiple of the denominator is 15. So what good does this do? Well, what we're going to do is we want to change this fraction to a fraction that's like something over 15 minus, again, we want to change this fraction to something over 15. And then right here, let's ask ourselves, what did we do to the 3? What did we multiply? Think about multiply. What did we multiply with the 3 to get 15? Well, 3 times 5 is 15. Let me make a note. 3 times 5 gives you 15. Right? And what we're going to do is multiply the 10 with the 5 as well. We want to multiply the numerator by 5 as well. So you are doing the same operations for the top and the bottom. 10 times 5, it's 50. For the second one, ask yourself, 5 times what will be 15? 5 times 3 gives you 15. So we will do the top as well. 12 times 3. We are going to multiply the 3 with the 12 as well. And that will give us the numerator for the second fraction. 12 times 3 is equal to 36. Okay? And now you see that we made the denominators of these two fractions the same. And this fraction is equal to that fraction, this fraction is equal to that fraction, even though they look different. And I will talk more about fractions in my later videos, but right now these are the procedure on how to subtract fractions, how to change mixed number to improper fractions. Okay? So these are just the procedure, but later on I will talk about the concept, like why we do this, right? And then the last procedure is, once they have the same denominator, we can just subtract the top. 50 minus 36, I believe that should be 14. And I hope that's right. So, 15 and 15. Denominators stays the same though. You don't do anything, you don't subtract, you don't add with the denominator. Denominators stays the same. And my answer is 14 over 15. And actually that's one of the answer choices as well. And, you can check out the answer key, and that's exactly the correct answer. Circle the answer and then give a check mark.